but you get the same, my point is, it's not evil Nintendo and their evil price gouging ways. $60 for digital Smash, when if it was a Sony game, it would be like $40 because they're removing the 20 for manufacturing cost. No. That is not a thing. That has never been a thing. Now, Sony's selling you a reduced price because of PlayStation Plus is a thing.
Yes. Or possibly getting it free due to PlayStation Plus.
Go look at the base prices. Now, which goes back to that cartridge rant, where Nintendo is, like, their platform is more expensive, but I don't think it's big enough to be a warrant of, this ridiculous hatred, and yes, I am going to try to import a copy of Final Fantasy X from South Asia. I want my fucking physical media to be physical. And before you say you're shitting on digital games, no, I'm not. If you want to buy Final Fantasy X digital, and you have a physical choice, but you go digital, that's cool. That's not my problem. My problem is when I buy a physical game, I expect the game, not this physical with download code. Or the worst, let's put a fucking download code. Pop.
To be fair, no Japanese game has done that. That is purely a Western thing that I believe Take-Two has been doing.
Because America can basically, and people really undermine this, by cheaping out and paying for a smaller Switch cartridge, or a single Switch cartridge, and putting a digital download code and giving people a game for free, and forcing people to download a game they technically have the rights to, you're just fitting the bill onto the consumer, forcing them into buying.
It's basically a form of DRM.
Yeah, it is.
Doesn't sound so appealing when we use that dirty word now, does it? And that's the funny thing I find with this, is I think the language is very much a factor in this, because, you know, a bunch of people are like, oh, the later Zero game, it's like, oh, the later Mega Man games aren't good, or, oh, Final Fantasy X-2 isn't good, so they're just doing it for people that want to avoid those. Suddenly, when you compare it to DRM, I feel like that would get like a lot more people to actually be kind of anal about it and suddenly sort of realize how, you know, bad it is. Okay, I shouldn't haphazardly do that. But anyway,
you're fitting the bill onto the consumer because your cheap ass doesn't want to pay like $5 extra.
And like basically, like I said, I feel like if you do sit there and compare it to, you know, like DRM methods and stuff, because it kind of is in a... Oh, I have also seen that as like a crazy argument, is that it's this weird anti-piracy measure because, you know, you can't basically make bootlegs of the physical cartridges and whatnot.
It's the companies doing the thing.
Again, it's greed and anti-consumer.
It's anti-consumer to remove two major things that companies want gone because of their bottom line, and part of this comes from piracy, and I will give them a caveat on piracy a little bit, because piracy, and I'm not like 100% sitting here and saying go pirate your games. I'm just oh fuck. So
oh, damn it, Snake.
Sorry everyone, I have sinus issues continue to exist. Now, back to the thing I was trying to say, where from a piracy angle, I get, but the big thing that the games industry wants gone, because their bottom line, they want physical media gone because they hate the rental market and they hate the second-hand market.
Anyone remember the online pass?
Because they hate that you can sell a game to someone and that there's technically nothing illegal about reselling a game. So they want the games that are being sold to be done in a way, and and actually, if I'm going to be blunt here, I'm pretty sure that cartridge system is not entirely laziness. Japan bans game rentals, basically, so Japan can have cartridges all they want, because in Japan, game rental market's illegal.
Well, first small little caveat, it kind of bothers me a little bit when people say it's illegal, because it's not entirely true. Renting games can be legal, but the publisher and I believe the console manufacturer that the game is on, I could be wrong about that part, they both have to get...
Everyone has to say it's legal.
Yeah, they have to concede to it.
Because they want to cut of the profits.
Yes.
I mean more illegal in the sense of...
It's very uncommon, again, because all parties involved in, like, the game basically have to say a yes to it. It can be legal, it's just 9 times out of 10 it's not.
It's literally just to fuck over the American rental market and the American resale market. Because they're trying to force you... Oh, you want that there Mega Man Legacy Collections too, do ya? Well, if you buy new, we'll give you a DLC code. But if you buy in used, $30 please. And it also basically means that in America, you can't say, oh, hey, can I rent that Legacy 2 copy? Or, you know... Or even, let's talk about game resales, because a lot of people make fun of the used games market, but sometimes people just don't want a game
because it, like, due to the, like, online stores and stuff, and, like, you know, potential game streaming and all that, used games have become less common.
Because the games... The best argument I ever heard, and I will continue to kind of paraphrase... Someone was like, the games industry, it's like, everyone is now kind of starting to think that physical games are bad and should be frowned upon. And it's like, it's not that physical games are bad, it's that the games industry has tricked you into thinking physical games are bad and you believe them.
And also, I don't want to 100% make this argument, because I feel like this gets into, like, paranoid conspiracy theory motherfucker territory, but we also have the other thing, is like, do you really want, digital markets and stuff to become the norm? Because it's like, you do realize if stuff goes all digital, the publishers would infinitely have more control over it, especially if we go to game streaming and not just a digital storefront where you download it and it's basically permanently saved onto whatever the fuck you download until that hard drive bricks in 15 years. If, like, a game streaming thing were to basically happen, companies would then have the ability, if they didn't want a game to, you know, be, like, sold anymore or something for whatever reason, they could take it down and then it's gone forever. It's not even, like, a bunch of old digital things of once, like, something you at least have, it's like if you bought Marvel vs. Capcom 3 digitally while it was, like, up, it's at least going to be on, like, your,
if you
your
bought
360
a game...
or PS3. You can't buy it anymore, but it will at least be, you'll at least have a digital copy of it. If you were streaming that as soon as the licensing deal and stuff goes under and Capcom can't legally use the Marvel IP anymore, poof, it's gone.
Which is why I've been kind of building to the point of, I feel all of this really should be illegal, because forcing the bill onto the consumer as an anti-consumerist method of just laziness and wanting slightly more money in your pocket pisses me off, because that's just, you know, you being an evil dick. I mean,
and for something, you know, a bit more personal, we also have this town as a small bumblefuck-ass town, so while we have, you know, decent enough internet to do internet things, it's still not good, so there were just certain...
Our internet is also notoriously bad, and there are people who have it worse, and I don't feel that the kind of flipping the bill on to the consumer for no reason.
Also, before we go back to that, I need to, like, I haven't really talked about the classic mode paths, which is because some of them were kind of great. I love Wii Fit Trainers path. Basically, they are fighting characters that are fat and eat a lot. You're also in the bottom corner.
I see that. I took damage. God, this stage's awful.
What are you talking about? This is the best stage. The most tournament legal.
There are certain practices in general that I think should be... Oh, wait. Damn it.
Did you...
I forgot to click my name, so I'm gonna...
Forgot to change it back?
Yeah, so... God damn it. Wish you could change that in the middle of... Actually, wait.
Connect controller. On connect controller, start moving the control stick. Okay. You can click onto it, but I don't believe you
God
can.
damn it. Holy... It's set up...
Yeah, you can click on it, but you can't
It's not
Anyway.
It's not the worst thing, but it was getting...
Because, again, another funny thing, like, is now, granted, I'm not 100% sure how true this is, but we have, like, a lot of things. Again, once the servers and all that go down, this will basically be effectively...
Oh my god, that was the best thing!
Yeah, because... Oh, that's also why, because of the one thing, do not jump, because that spike ball above you also counts as a blast zone, so if you jump into that, you're gonna die. Any way now, like I said,
oh, damn it. Oh! I fucking hate that stage! I hate this! Go back to rambling in a minute. I hate this fucking stage because of that stupid gimmick.
I forgot that the chest can also blow up sometimes. Anyway, my main point was, like I said, well, rentals and stuff aren't exactly... Alright, now, hold on. The game could be a dumb fuck. If it jumps into something, you're golden. You just need to grab and throw him up. Oh, he literally narrowly avoided... There. Done. That is my favorite thing, just grabbing and chucking people into those. Anyway, on to, at the point, like, you know, basically, especially because the redeem codes and stuff only work once, so because they only work once, or games doing like what L.A. Noire did, where half the game was on the cartridge and you have to download
at least
the other half. Basically, like, so those are incredibly rental, because both of those essentially make it to where both of those games are essentially unusable secondhand.
I mean, at least while the one thing is cheap and, you know, evil as hell, at least the
you do at least get a cartridge, but I don't know if the update for the, like, L.A. Noire technically only works on the Switch. I don't know if you could, like, lend the game to your friend and if he would be able...
I'm also talking about in general, like... I mean, I've got, like, several different things to collectively say because it was a mismatch of point. L.A. Noire is bad, but... I mean, it's at least a physical media.
Yeah.
So, it's better. That is at least, to me, better than the secondary, problem of...
you know, producing a box, but just having a download code in it. And that one I especially don't get, because the L.A. Noire, like, forced to download thing, that at least creates the, you know, like, the illusion, basically, of there being a physical copy, because there is still technically a Switch, cartridge in there, but if you don't have internet, you've effectively bought a $60 paperweight. The download code is literally you actively wasting money. Like, that's the one thing with it being developer cheapness, is like, why would you make a physical copy that is literally worthless? Like, you are actually losing money here. Yeah, you'll still technically get the physical sale, so you will make money, but the money to produce, like, the plastic case and
come
shit...
on.
But, like, the money to produce the plastic case and shit is, like, literally
a
pointless.
Awesome.
But I guess that is cheaper than producing
And
it.
I will at least say that a full, like, the Final Fantasy X, at least you get full 10, and you have a download code.
For 10-2, but that's justifiable, because 10-2 is the bad game that everyone hates. No one would want to pay $60 for 10-2. Also, I don't really understand why Jigglypuff is here, because, like I said, it's characters that basically eat a lot or are fat, and Jigglypuff, yeah, it's round, but that's because it's like it's a literal bowl.
It's a balloon.
I have no idea what that was, but okay.
Kick them in the face. Booyah. The ultimate point in all of this on and off rambling, I feel like it's just anti-consumerism cheapness.
Yeah.
And it's not this, like, millions of dollars lost. If a small indie company was like, we don't want to have...
Even then, most of those people, now granted this is sometime after the game comes out, seemingly because they use, like, money gained from digital... Hold on, I have to sneeze. Now, like I said, granted this is normally sometime after the game has come out, but that's kind of a result of them using money they gained from digital sales in this, but a bunch of indie companies have, you know, worked with limited run games, basically, to have...
For a limited
release of
My
physical...
point!
Also, of course, I know someone that is going to say, oh, but limited run are the ones that I believe supply the hardware and everything, and yes, while that is true, it's still one of those, again, certain, smaller indie companies do have a budget to do this. It's in limited quantity, but they can still do it.
The point I was building to wasn't so much that they couldn't, per se, but it was that, like... Oh, I'm getting tongue-tied as hell. Oh, God, I hit him. It was more... God damn it. Hold on. Okay, English. It was more about... If a indie developer was telling me, oh, I'm sorry, but we don't have the resources to do this physical release en masse, I could look at that and go, you know what, guys? That's fine.
Now, like, I believe Yacht Club only got a physical release of Shovel Knight. Basically, it was like a year after the game had come out, because they basically used sales of the game digitally to fund that physical version.
When fucking Square Enix is like, I'm sorry, it would just be too much money and not worth it. Bullshit. And that goes to the whole ridiculous bankrupt.
I know the meme.
The whole bankruptcy point, where people act like Square. It's time for the question of the day and my overall thoughts on the topic. So, anyway, what do you guys think of Wolf and the Wii Fit Trainer in this game? In my opinion, Wolf is far less janky and weird. In Brawl, Wolf was added so late in development, he was given a very simple moveset that did not have a lot of development time, and that's why his animations and hitboxes are kind of janky and weird. But that does fit a Wolf motif, him being hunched over and animating very quick and sporadically. As for Wii Fit Trainer, the moveset is almost identical, but the speed increase in this game makes them faster, and if I remember right, they fixed some of the weird hitboxes that the Wii Fit Trainer had. I remember that character had some stupidly terrible hitboxes in Smash 4, and I think that was fixed. I could be wrong about that. Anyway, you can leave your thoughts, opinions, and answers in the comments, or you can leave them on social media. All my social media links are in the video description. Now, I need to be a chill for a minute. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button and leave some comments. If you want to keep up with our videos, hit the subscription button and ring the notification bell. And if you follow me on social media, that helps our communities grow. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed the video. See you all next time.